Thanks for what you do with your podcast and all the rest. You're doing a great job. Hope everybody keeps tuning in. You get a lot of good info, a lot of insights, understandings of how to get strong, how to stay strong, how to use your strength.
You do a great job, dude. You make things better than they are in real life, I think.
If you don't follow Massenomics, y'all do it. Social media, website, everything.
Massenomics.
Welcome back, everyone, to the Massenomics Podcast. The Massenomics Podcast, listened and viewed millions of times all over the world, recorded live from the corners of the Dakotas. My name is Tanner.
And my name is Tommy.
How's my volume this week, Tommy?
Your volume,
sound loud and clear?
I think it's good. Yeah, I think so.
All right.
I actually had to turn you down on my headphones. So I forgot that you were down lower. So
Is there too much snare?
No, I think it's good now. Like I had to turn you down back to where you used to be.
So there's the appropriate amount of snare in your headphones then.
The snare is quite nice right now.
Okay. Great snare this week on the Massenomics Podcast. This week we've got a whole it's actually just to be forthcoming.
It's been a while.
It has been. And actually to also be forthcoming, hit that one for me, Tanner, because I am I'm down with the sickness, baby. Hit the button for me, damn it. That's right. It's a new month, which means I have a new sickness. So just keep it rolling. Gonna see if I can catch every disease there is before the end of the year here. It's
yeah. So how long do you think you've been sick on and off for now? What's the record?
This is month 3.
What's the streak?
Never been this sick this long in my life. I'm going on 3 months here. There is a confirmed case of pneumonia in my household. I don't believe I have pneumonia, but I definitely have some pneumonia related side effects going on. So I'm just fighting the good fight over here.
But do you not? Is it safe to say you don't have pneumonia? Do you not have pneumonia?
I don't think I have pneumonia. I just think I have like a bad cold and I'm fighting something off. But, after like a week straight of someone with pneumonia coughing in your face multiple times a day, all day, every day, I think you'll start to get something.
You know what they say best fights pneumonia? What best fights pneumonia?
I want to know.
Ammonia.
Yep. I
have you tried that?
Was it.
Yeah. I don't know if you tried it yet.
No,
it's because the names. The names are so similar. Yeah. No, this week we do have several things to cover, along with our various ailments. But first, I want to tell everyone about JUGGERNAUT AI. It's the training that me and Tommy both use when Tommy is not so sick that he is able to train. He does use JUGGERNAUT AI.
To be a real rarity.
When you're not sick, you could also use JUGGERNAUT AI. You find them at juggernautai.app. You can go there, check it out. There's a free trial, actually. You can check it out and try it for a while if you want to. I would recommend that if you've never looked at it. If you've heard us talk about it for a few weeks and you've never checked it out, just go get the free app or head onto the website and just browse a little bit. And then when you're so convinced at how awesome it looks and you do decide to sign up for good, that's when you use discount code Massenomics and it saves you 10% on the life of your membership over at juggernautai.app.
And this episode is also brought to you by Texas Power Bars. Now, Tanner, I feel like I saw a little something. I got to confirm this right now. I thought I maybe saw that Texas Power Bars had a sale of some kind at the moment. And I love telling everyone about a good Texas Power Bar sale. Maybe not. Someone put in the Discord they were having like a blemish bar sale.
I think they were. I don't know if that's off. It's not off the table.
It was a flash sale. They recently had a free shipping deal. I think they might have had a free or a blemish bar. Actually, you know what? There's one more spot I can look here. Blem bars on their website. Oh, I take it back. Just when you thought they were done with their sales, they got another one for you. You can save major bucks right now on Texas Power Bars. If you go to the Blem Bars category, you can, right here, Texas Power Bars, original power bar, regular price $300, Blem bar starts at $220. The Texas deadlift bar, Regular price $400, blend bar $340. So you are talking some significant savings here, anywhere from $60 to $80 on a variety of bars. Also in a variety of options too. We got Cerakote, Black Zinc, Chrome. There's a lot going on there. So if you would like to save big on a Texas Power Bar and you don't mind a few scuffs in exchange for some hot deals, head on over to TexasPowerBars.com, click the blend bars button, and go crazy. Thank you, Texas Power Bars.
Thanks, Texas Power Bars. We have an important announcement this week about the Lift Hard, Live Easy Classic 2025. We'll get to that here shortly, I believe. A very, very important announcement to cover there. We are going to recap the Mr. Olympia results as Massenomics has done for the last 8 or 9 years.
Everyone's favorite episode. They're just waiting to hear our take on it.
For our takes on the Mr. Olympia recap. And then first, maybe we should talk about the drop that we have. Big drop coming up October 24th. So the week that this episode comes out, it'll be that Thursday, right?
Yes, that is correct.
Thursday afternoon, October 24th. This is actually a very big drop for us, one of our biggest of the year. If our biggest is Black Friday, this might be our second biggest, actually.
It's probably a tie for second biggest if it's not second biggest.
Yeah, it's definitely up there in the Mount Rushmore of 2024 drops. I'll tell you that much. And I don't know if we're going to reveal anything that we've got coming in this drop, but Tommy, I don't even know if you remember what things are and aren't.
I hardly remember. I know what's coming this last half of the year, or this last couple months of the year, but what specifics were for this one, I'd have to go back and look.
I guess what I would allude to is there are lower body garments in this drop. There may even be something that's only available to supporting members. There may be a brand new item that's crew exclusive.
I forgot about that.
That will not even be offered to the general public. I think that one might come in October even, so stay tuned for that. That one's pretty exciting. Then upper body garments and a variety of upper body garments, actually, where it's like not just a T-shirt. There might be a T-shirt.
Maybe some seasonal type items.
It's the best drop. The best drop ever. Some are saying it's the greatest drop of all time. So check it out, October 24th. Look out for a crew exclusive item. So if you're a supporting member, that's how you get in on it. The only way, exclusive, as Big Scant says. It's an exclusive item in there.
That's right.
And that's not just like a bad accent of saying exclusive. It's an exclusive item. Okay, so that's the 1024 drop. You'll see a lot more on that next week, but do be ready for that when it all comes out. All right, what do we want to hit on next? I also had a couple more. We've got multiple topics actually this week.
Okay. Do we have any Crew Falls updates? Anything new to report there? It's been a while since we touched base.
Yeah, so nothing really. No big updates other than reminding everyone again the dates for Crew Falls. The date is that Friday and Saturday. I just want to check the calendar again to make sure I have that right. It would be December 7th, so the 6th and the 7th. The 7th is the Saturday, so that's the prime day. And looks like the gym's open that we're going to be training at.
It is, yes. I did see that. I believe Big Colton's a member there, I believe.
I think so. Crew member Big Colton. And how do you say the name of the gym?
Los Campeones.
Okay. And we still don't have more details yet on the gym ownership structure. We know people have been wanting to know if it's LLC or a corporation.
We'll do some research with the state records here and get to the bottom of that.
Find out what type of entity it is also, and then also like the ownership structure. There was some thought of, is it possibly a franchise model or what?
Just what the specifics are. I would feel much more comfortable lifting there once I knew that.
Yeah, that's usually my homework on a gym I want to train in is I find out that stuff first. And
before I even bother looking at any equipment, I got to know they're legit on paper.
So we will have more updates on the ownership structure, and hopefully when we do a gym tour video there, we can really get to bottom of some of that stuff.
That's right. We'll put them on the spot corner. Yeah. Do you know who? When I say the name Mason Ramsey, does that mean anything to you, Tanner?
You're thinking of David Ramsey.
Well, now I am because you said that name. But no, I was not thinking of that name initially.
You're thinking of Massenomics, Mason Amato.
That's also a thing I'm thinking
Crew
of
member
now,
Mason.
but not what I was thinking of at the moment.
No, it sounds familiar, but I don't know if I.
What
maybe
if I
after
say
you tell me.
yodeling Walmart kid? Does that mean anything to you?
No, I don't know.
You don't remember Mason Ramsey, the viral sensation, yodeling Walmart kid from about 10 years ago?
No, I don't recall it.
I think maybe
Maybe
if
I
you saw
would.
the video, you'd remember it. 'Cause it was just so meme worthy at the time. He was just like this little kid in a white shirt and a cowboy hat with a bow tie on, yodeling in like the middle of a Walmart aisle, and he went super viral. I did see that he will be playing in Sioux Falls Thursday, December 5th, right before Crew Falls. It's kind of like a kickoff to get everyone ready. So
Playing what?
he's singing at a bar. So if anyone needs a reason to come early, that might be the reason right there.
So is this person about 20 now?
I think so. Yeah, he's definitely an adult now. He's not a child anymore.
Okay. Does he yodel then?
Yeah,
or?
there's Big Anthony put like the original, like his two memes right there.
He's 17.
Okay, he's 17. All right.
So he's not actually even an adult.
No, not quite.
Like
I guess.
I wonder if he yodels.
I don't know if he actually does.
So he's kind of like the Haktua girl of a decade ago.
a more wholesome Haktua girl. Yeah.
I mean, the Haktua girl pops up on things that you see right all the time, like still.
Well, the number of memes I see of people ironically taking it seriously. It'll be like a group of guys all watching a TV, and it's like me and the guys getting ready to watch the Haktua podcast, which is so funny. Just things like that. And then of course Ryan and some other people are always sending me dumb Haktua, like girl memes, not of like just putting the soundbite, but like just the greater world of the Haktua universe with podcasts.
Not just that same one thing.
No, like it's become a world of its own. So
right, not just that same 1 5-second song.
Nope, not just that.
Yeah. She's really making the most of it,
Dude,
I guess,
she
though,
is. I can't fault her one bit of it. I mean, she has to have at least, I haven't dug into it, but she has to have at least some entertainability. God, I would hope if she's making it go this long, she must have a certain level of showmanship or stage presence or something. Otherwise she's really, really taking advantage of it to the max.
She's got to almost be up there on the Mount Rushmore of those people. Like you talk about the Walmart kid here, whatever his name, Mason Ramsey, but like
she probably is.
Who did it better? Like what? Who took advantage of it more than her in just one tiny little clip?
Yeah, that actually is a good point. It was a 5-second soundbite in an interview too. Is like the Walmart yodeling kid at least had the novelty of, this kid is singing. Oh, he's singing. It's so cute.
Right.
He's in a Walmart.
Right.
But hers,
and she's like one of the most famous. I mean, is that even what you would say? She's one of the most famous people in the country.
This would be a good test. If you're under the age of 30 and you don't know who the Haktua girl is, I'm assuming it's because you don't actually use social media. Like you're out of that world entirely.
Right.
That's like the litmus test for have you used social media in the last 6 months?
Like how many establishments could that girl walk into and people not everyone like know who it is?
Oh wow, actually that's a good point too. Yeah, she's definitely known. Just living the life.
Yeah. That's
and I was and then to follow this up, I saw a billboard the other day.
Massenomics?
As all good information is shared on billboards, as we know.
Yes.
Saying Hinder was in town in December, and I also thought that was during Crew Falls weekend, but it turns out it is not during Crew Falls weekend. It is December 20th. So
the lips of an angel.
Yeah, exactly. Yes, the opener of the Brown County Fair of 2024. Right, that was this year, wasn't it?
What was Hinder? I think they were. Were they here this year?
I think so.
What? Was that this year? Because it was the Smash Mouth and Sugar Ray were here this year.
Maybe Hinder was last year then.
Yeah.
Maybe.
It's hard to keep all those impressive acts
they all
straight.
blend together to me.
Yeah. I've got a little sack segment. You want to see what I've got, what I'm packing here?
Please do.
You actually have these two. Curious if you've tried it at all, but I'll show it to the camera what's in the sack. This came from our trip to the south because when we were from the
Did you
south.
smuggle some grits back?
I've been sitting on those for a couple weeks. Finally, I can. No, what I've got is the hand.
Oh yeah, I forgot about those. I got those upstairs on my counter too.
Have you tried these ever?
So I started with the lightest one, and I thought this is
what one's the lightest one?
Is it the orange one? I believe.
Maybe that's what it is.
And
yeah.
I thought this is way too easy. This doesn't do anything. And then when you go up to the harder ones, they definitely do get tougher.
Oh my God, this dark blue one, I can barely do it.
Yes. So that's what I was like, oh yeah, no, I'm not good at this. It's just the easy ones are easy.
It kind of makes me feel like I have arthritis in my hand or something. It feels weird. Like it doesn't necessarily feel like I'm training something. It feels like
inducing injury.
Kind of like a weird, uncomfortable feeling if you do very many of them.
I've just introduced some pain that I didn't need, that I didn't have before.
It's like a weird. I don't know if it's like. Have you like just put them on like one time?
Well, I just did the orange ones, the easy ones for reps, and then I was kind of in a hurry, so I did the other one once. I'm like, oh yeah, that's a lot harder.
It also like. Sometimes my knuckles will want to cave, like I can spread it.
You should probably tell what we're actually talking about. We're going.
That's true. It's the Hand X bands, and these were courtesy of Donnie Thompson.
It's like a rubber band. So for people that don't know what it is, it's like a rubber band, and on the inside diameter of the rubber band, there's holes for your fingers to go in, and then you can spread your hands out, and it provides resistance against your hands that way instead of always a squeeze. It's a
because you're usually training your grip this way, and this is
let's see. It was inverted. Yeah. So Donnie gave us a pack of like every level of those things when we were down there.
They were inverted like this. Yeah, my kids messed around with them for a while.
Oh, my kids have been playing with them nonstop.
Yeah,
like, oh, this thing resembles a rubber band. We must play with it.
They're great kids' toys. Donnie gave us these from his. Like pulled these out behind his secret bar stash area of things,
and all types of stuff stashed in there.
Yeah, so that's pretty cute. Pretty cute. So you haven't really used it much, though. I haven't really used it much either. I can't speak to the effectiveness of the Hand Extreme Band. But speaking of grip training, we did just have this last YouTube video was our Extreme Grip Gauntlet training session with Juji Mufu.
Mm-hmm. And we were put through the paces.
Yeah. So if you haven't checked that out, make sure you do. It was just a diverse, like Tommy did well on some, I did well on some, Juji did well on some. It was kind of a diverse spread across the grip gauntlet.
Oh, I got to say, along the same lines, so I wasn't aware of what that device was until we went there. Was it the dynameter for measuring your hand strength?
I was thinking I might buy one of those for the gym.
I think so. That is cool. And also there's I didn't realize this. There's the really cheap, I'm pretty sure it's the same thing. The really cheap, like plasticky, digital ones that people have. And I see these in a lot of videos or a lot of reels right now. But the one Juji had, I believe, is more of a, medical grade device that I think that PTs and stuff like that use. What I was trying to read though on it, I think it might, the one thing I was reading said, depending on the angle of your hand and some things, it can change the reading a little bit. I'm not sure how true that actually is. But I have seen, so actually it was shortly after that video came out, my wife sent me a clip of someone giving the U.S. gymnastics team, men and women's, the dynameter and having them squeeze it. And again, it was one of those cheap, plasticky, digital, crappy ones. So maybe it's not super accurate, but I think all of the women, I think the highest woman's rating was like 110. Most of them were under 100. And the highest men's rating was the guy who was like the pommel horse star. Was it like Steven something? And I think his was 120 or 130. So based off of those metrics, we are just smoking all of the gymnastics team in grip strength.
Not surprised. Actually, I thought you were going to say they were like 200.
No, that's what I actually was curious because I thought, if someone has it, it could be these guys. But
right.
At least for that crappy one, no one had like a crazy.
Yeah, and who knows how accurate it is too.
Yeah, and then I saw one. They did the same thing with some UFC guys, and again, a lot of these guys aren't taking it very seriously. They just do it and go, squeeze it. And, we're like really amping ourselves up for this one moment.
Bearing down as hard as possible.
Yeah, but the UFC one I watched, I don't know. I think there was of like the 10 guys or so, I think there was one guy that was higher than 150. Most of them were somewhere between like 110 and 130 even.
Yeah.
But I don't
I guess
know.
I don't know if you're not lifting weights. Like, what do you work like an extreme grip? You know, I mean, obviously they're doing all kinds of crazy stuff, but
Yeah.
don't
I
know if
still
they have,
just,
like,
at
a
the end of the day,
crushing
don't think
grip.
of myself as having a good grip ever. Like I never have. And, you know, I had a 150 on that, which I'm just not sure. Like,
Right.
Maybe that's what it is, and I'm just really bad at expressing that 150 on the other
Right.
things. Like maybe that's
Right.
what it is. I'm not sure.
That could be. So watch the video though.
Yes, get to watching.
Did you I mean, I don't know how much we have to add to the conversation, but did you see the Kabuki, the additional
Actually did. I
additional
was
stuff?
okay. I was reading the notes because I was very interested in this. I wanted to listen to the podcast, but I haven't had time yet. You listened to it though, didn't you?
Yeah.
I want you to
Did
break
see
down the
my cliff
situation.
notes on
Yeah,
it?
you were giving some great cliff notes and then some cliff notes and some abridged cliff notes, which I enjoyed reading all those. But I want you to break down the whole situation as you recall it.
Okay. So Rich Galgano.
And maybe back it up then, just so for people that because there's a good chance there's some people listening that don't know Kabuki Strength or what do they go by now or formerly?
Now it's Kabuki Power.
Okay, but anyways, the company that Chris Duffin,
Kabuki Strength.
started, that produced the
Transformer bar, the PR deadlift bar, the Cadillac bar, the shoulder rock,
the Kabuki Power Bar. Is that what they call it? What do they call that?
yeah,
Power bar? Yeah.
Their open trap bar.
A lot of nice pieces.
Bunch of specialty bars
Bunch
made
of
in
specialty
America.
bars. The gym has most
We've
of
got
them.
them all.
Yeah, and things we've liked.
We've had
but-
Chris on the podcast twice at least.
Yes, and it seems like the company's had some ranging from just insane lead times to like changing prices to taking the website down and not taking orders and rumors of them like not making any money. There's just like always been this rocky reputation, I think, maybe
Right.
with the company since they started.
For sure. And then it kind of like everyone knew there was like this change in ownership and a bunch of changes going on over the last couple months that became public. So Rich Galgano, I think it's maybe how you say the guy's last name, but Big Rich was on Big Jake, supporting member Big Jake, shout out, Garage Gym Radio podcast. He had a Big Rich on there just this week, or I think it came out like last night or today even. And I listened to it. It's maybe about an hour long. It's pretty interesting. Check it out if you get a chance. But he told his side of the story. So this is obviously his side of the story. And I did make the comment that, well, there's always two sides of the story, like no doubt, no matter what, no matter how honest someone seems like they're being, or no matter how straight up honest someone is, there's still just two sides of the story and people can interpret the same things differently.
Yes, like most people, and I'm not whether he's right or wrong or not, but most people when they're recounting a story tend to tell it more favorably, paint themselves in a more favorable light.
It is just naturally the case. But I would say it seemed like he gave a lot of information, and at no point in time did I feel like he was just lying about anything. Like that's not what he comes off as at all, I would say.
Yeah. All right. So first question, bring me up to speed here though. So he's current owner right now.
Yeah.
Chris Duffin.
He owns a whole bunch of other companies.
Okay. So that was is he the sole owner of the company right now?
Oh, I don't know. It's probably the owner of the company is probably another company, I would assume, that's also owned by other companies.
Okay.
And
so
because he owns like 15 different businesses.
like ranging from what type of businesses we're talking here?
First thing that he did was wire, like electrical wire a company that he made a company that he made, brought up and then sold for $500 million, and is still like, I think the president of the board or something like that of that company. So that would be one. An investment firm, like all the other companies you would own when you own a lot of companies too.
So not fitness stuff at all.
No. I would say no fitness background whatsoever.
Okay. I didn't know if he had like this whole portfolio of fitness companies that he was like, oh, this rolls right in.
No.
All right.
I think none. It's all other.
Do you know how he even got involved with these guys then?
Yes. What was the story? Because And there again, you can listen to the podcast and really get the first hand take, but it was a mutual, I can't remember what he said. It was a mutual contact that both Kabuki and Rich were using. I don't know if it was a third party. I can't remember what kind of third party it was, but they were working with both of them, and this third party knew that Rich invests in a lot of companies, and he knew Kabuki was looking for an investor. And he someone paired him up and said, "Hey, are you interested in investing with, here's each other's contact info." So it's kind of like a happenstance that they just knew a mutual person that knew they could be a fit for each other.
And
yeah.
should talk. Okay.
Yeah.
So that's all right. So that's where this comes in. And the previous owners, though, Chris and whoever,
Rudy Cadlob.
they are out, though, correct? They're both out.
Yeah. So what happened was Kabuki needed money in what seemed like maybe a bad way. They needed money for operating because they were not making money. And Rich looked at this as an opportunity because he said, "Hey, they need money. I think if we got them money, their problem is not having inventory and subsequently not being able to service the customer appropriately because of those two things. And then if we get you a decent working capital situation where you can actually have inventory, it's going to kind of solve those things, which will then allow the company to be profitable." So
and were you sitting there going, "Oh yeah, preach, Rich, now you're speaking my language"?
Well, I did say the first 20 minutes of the podcast were very similar to what my day job is like, because it was talking about large commercial loan customers defaulting, and that's what I work.
Why were they talking about that though in the beginning?
Because that's what happened to Kabuki Power.
Oh, they did. They defaulted on some loans.
Well, to Rich, a $2 million.
Okay. Yeah. And
Rich. So that was the form of Rich's investment. Was he gave them a $2 million line of credit, and the collateral was
the company,
the intellectual property, the equipment, the everything.
Okay.
And then they used all $2 million, didn't pay Rich back, didn't satisfy any of the other loan covenants, because Rich isn't a bank, I suppose, but he's operating in the same, he had security agreements and collateral secured just like a bank would. And since they defaulted, then he got to take everything. And that's why that is like the first 20 minutes of the podcast. And that's the best part, is hearing that story and how that went down. And then once Rich and his family or his group took over, they got rid of Rudy right away, who was the former CEO. And then they hired Chris right away to be the CEO, that, as an employee then basically. And that didn't work out. They were continuing to lose money. They weren't happy with the partnership, I guess, between him being hired as the CEO and what he was delivering. So then they fired him. And then that's when they moved the company to South Carolina. And then he goes in to talk about their plans going forward. And that's where I become extremely uninterested, where I'm not my personal cliff notes is what they're doing going forward is they're going to make a bunch of stuff that will no longer make them a company that people like us that are really into strength training and strength training equipment are interested in.
Okay. So
they're going to they could be profitable. They could make way more money than they have before, but it's going to be stuff that it's not going to be cool specialty bars, and it's going to be I don't know. I'm just casting opinions on it at that point.
But did he say any examples of products at the direction they're going, or was that just the impression
yeah?
you were
It was we're gonna make an aluminum shoulder rock and market it to golfers and volleyball players and
aluminum being
baseball
just 'cause they wanted
players.
a lightweight one, or
yeah, because then you take it out on the golf course with you, and it really helps your swing. And everyone that has a home gym also golfs, and he even made the comment himself. He's like, I wasn't an expert in wire. I was never an electrician, but I made a $500 million wire company. So I don't need to be an expert in fitness. But then he goes on to talk about this stuff. And I'm like, yeah, I can obviously tell you're not an expert in the equipment space, and it's shining through. And the things you're talking about, I'm like, It could, they could. I'm not saying they wouldn't work. It just becomes uninteresting to the people
Just a
that
different
like.
audience. Yeah. And that,
Yes.
that is like, yeah, it could
Yes.
be like, I mean, yeah, there's people that make tons of money. Just go onto Amazon and look at some of the top fitness
Yes.
products and be like, there's never in a million years I'd buy any of this stuff, but it's clearly
Right, but a bunch of
flying off the
people are
shelves.
right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, like, how many shake weights does a guy really need? Am I right?
Right. Right.
Okay, so you think they're going a little more general fitness, general
Yeah.
audience with the items away from the hardcore powerlifting.
Yeah,
scene.
for sure.
Which
Like,
I mean, from a profitability standpoint, I can understand that. Like, I mean, how much profit are they really making selling that deadlift bar? You know, like,
they're making no profit. That was the problem. They're losing
yeah,
like
I guess that
They're
does
losing.
answer the
They were
question.
losing like $200,000 a month.
I'd just be curious though, even just on a per item basis, like the deadlift bar. Do they lose $100 for every one of those deadlift bars they sell?
Yeah, they were certainly losing. Every one they sold, they were losing money. Yeah, they were not selling enough of anything to cover the overhead. And he did even make the comment that they weren't stealing from the company or like, he's like, they weren't doing anything illegal or
They just
anything.
didn't
He's like,
have a
they were
business model to actually
Right.
generate money.
Right. Like he talked about numbers of bars, which is interesting too, that they were selling maybe it was the deadlift bar. They're selling 40 or 60 of them a month.
Right.
And he's like, we need to be selling 400 of them a month,
Right.
you know, in order for it to be a profitable business. And he's like, I don't know if the market's there or not. And then he gets into this thing. Like, I get the feeling they're not going to make the bars anymore, basically any of them. So I don't know if he's going to sell off the bar portion of it. You know, he kind of alluded to they're going to do something different with that. So I don't know if, say, like a Rogue Fitness would do what they did with Ghost, where they buy it and they say, okay,
Right.
now we have the Kabuki deadlift bar that you can buy from us because our deadlift bar wasn't that cool ever to begin with. So now you can buy the Kabuki one from us to, you know.
We have the one that no
I
one
don't know.
wants.
Or maybe they just, yeah. So I don't know if that's what's going to happen, but it's just a possible thought in my head of something that could happen, and it wouldn't have to be Rogue, but
Okay, now remind me though, because I know we talked to Chris, I don't know if this is in person or on the podcast, but because Rogue does sell Kabuki products, right?
the Transformer bar. So they already have the connection there. Yeah.
Okay, but were they? Okay, so they
I
weren't
don't know
helping
what
out
the
with the
exact
manufacturing though. It was purely
I'm
just
not.
reselling.
I'm not sure about that.
Okay.
I'm not. I don't know.
I couldn't because I remember us having the conversation of like, oh, but you'd probably make more money if we bought it from you, and he's like, yeah, and I don't remember.
Right.
More
Yeah,
money.
I
Being
don't remember
$0
that, yeah.
negative dollars here again in this instance, but
Yeah.
interesting. Okay. So is that,
So that was the.
that's up to speed. I know everything about the situation now.
I mean, not really. You would want to listen to that to really. There is some that, like I said, in particular, the first 20 minutes of that were really good, and you know, he talks about he gets into a lot of specifics, and he's not really throwing that much shade. I don't feel like, you know, it kind of feels like he's explaining his facts. There again, they're probably tinted through his color glasses, I would say, a little bit, but it didn't really feel too much like that. Like he wasn't just like, it wasn't like, okay, good, my opportunity to just bury everyone in the dirt that's not me and, you know, that opposed my way of thinking.
Okay, so thinking of just, all right, trying to think of, is there any other business currently that has the Kabuki business model of high-end specialty bars? Only?
Also made in America.
Made in America only.
Too.
Like that's essentially the only product they sell, right?
The shoulder rock, you know, and
again, it's kind of a specialty bar.
boomstick.
Do they sell weights or not?
They did for a while during like the COVID thing, but I
they
think
don't do
they
that
just
anymore.
stopped doing that. Yeah.
So it really is just, for the most part, if we're saying kind of a overall blanket on the market, it is just specialty bars they're selling, and high-end specialty bars.
Right.
Like there is no other manufacturer that does just that, though, is there?
There's the Mars bar, but I don't even know, like when you buy the Mars bar, you buy it from like the Strength Co.
But you buy that, we know it's I think it's Solid Bar Fitness, and they're a white label manufacturer. They're making thousands of bars for tons of companies. So like again, they're not a specialty one thing. Like that's a single product they make off of like their other probably 10,000 bars or more they're pumping out a month.
Yeah.
So is there?
Yeah.
So is that it then? I mean, Elite FTS
well,
doesn't do that.
maybe
Rome
maybe
doesn't
there's
do
a
that.
reason that
Well,
business
that's what I'm
model
trying to get
doesn't
at here.
work.
Is like
Yeah.
maybe that actually business model doesn't work. Of like you can't survive being just a high end special because like American Barbell isn't just that either. Like they make tons of different barbells, you know, and then they make
and just gym equipment
and yeah, they got dumbbells. I think they got like deadlift platforms and racks and attachments.
And
like
Elite FTS have safety squat bars, but they also have every other
you
possible
can buy
piece of
every
equipment.
piece
Well,
of
and they don't
equipment
make
from them.
anything either, too.
Right,
Like
yes,
Kabuki
but-
was making it also, where and
Well, yeah, and
not
Elite
at
FTS
a
doesn't
margin.
make the bar either, you know.
Right.
So again,
Right.
like that might just prove like that business model is nearly impossible to make work of just selling probably the lowest of low volume bars, right?
Yep. Yes. Yes.
I mean, the Transformer bar is $800. Like you would think that the Elite FTS bar, which is the expensive one in that case, and a competitor to that product, is less than half price. I mean, they got to outsell them like 10-1 on that, don't they?
I'm sure that they
Or
do.
more.
And I mean, this guy did mention that too, that like, he's like, the prices are just too high. Like they have to come down.
But that's the crazy part is that the prices are too high and they're still not making money though.
I've
And
used
I'm
this
not
reference
knocking it, I'm
before,
just,
but
like, trying
it
to
is
talk through
it's the Michael Scott paper
company
business
thing,
is like, our prices are the only thing keeping you in business. And he's like, your prices are what's putting you out of business.
Yeah. Yeah, that is interesting though.
I mean, he also said that they would do the pre-orders. I mean, we actually had this conversation about something else today. They would do pre-orders because it's the only way that they had funds to be able to fulfill an order, as they needed the money first, and then they're kind of robbing Peter to pay Paul, if you will.
And then it wasn't just that; it was you do the pre-order and then wait like 6+ months for your
Yes,
item,
and that right
or more.
yes.
Huh. Well, hopefully they figure out something there without totally annihilating the company, because they did make good products. You know,
Right.
I use I went through a few training cycles of just using the Kabuki trap bar, and I love that trap bar. I thought it was so awesome. And I used the Transformer bar for a while too. I like that a lot. And I think I've been on record on this podcast as saying the what the hell is it? Why can't I find it on here? Just their regular power bar was one of my when that first came out. I thought the knurling on that was so good. Does that bar not even exist anymore? It's not on their website.
Maybe it doesn't. It might not. I'm not sure.
It's really interesting when you go to barbells. That is not an option. They have the PR deadlift bar. That's the only just straight bar that they have. And then you go to
Also
value
something-
products, and then in value products they have they still don't have it.
Yeah, and it's a new website because the prior ownership had also taken out a Shopify loan.
What?
Yeah, a loan through Shopify. So
I didn't even know that seems crazy that that company would even allow that. Shopify
Yeah.
would. I don't even get
because like Stripe and people like that always offer us
You're saying through like their payment system.
right, that's what I assume.
I thought you were
Yeah,
saying
yeah.
like they couldn't pay to have a website. I'm like, the website.
No,
like a Shopify
no.
Yeah.
Like they offered them at working capital loan
through their
actually. Like
payments. Yeah.
right. We get those offers all the time. Through like PayPal or Stripe and stuff. They're always like trying to get like, here's a $20,000 loan for what you're already qualified, because they just look at how much payment you're processing, and then they're like, okay, yeah, let's get these guys to pay us some interest too. But they were in an unsecured position, and part of all that they have to take away is the rights to your URL. So
okay.
so then that's
interesting.
yeah. So that's part of why the name has changed and the
It's a
website
Kabuki-
is different.
Well, it is a Shopify website again, in case anyone's wondering. So
Okay.
but Kabuki Power. So it was a different URL before. Is actually what
Yeah, it was a
okay.
different URL even.
Interesting.
So I guess Shopify can hold that hostage when you don't pay them back.
Okay. Wow.
So let's not do that.
Just a lot of notes on what not to do here. Oh, well, I do hope the best for them though, because like I said, they did make some good products. We've, outside of some long wait times and just some things like that. Once you get the product, I think everyone's typically pretty happy with it.
Yeah, and I always liked Chris's train. He was certainly innovating things. I think would be a strong suit in that business model, was like innovating some cool new stuff.
Yeah.
Okay. What about a little supporting our supporting members this week?
Do it.
Okay. Big Ryan Bridenthal competed in the first ever Lift Hard Live Easy Classic. He actually went ahead and got himself married. So congrats on the funeral, Big Ryan. Then Big Cody and Big Samantha, both crew members competed at the 2024 Lift Hard Live Easy Classic Strongman Edition. They got married to each other. So I think that's a strong case of, marrying crew. I think
really crazy.
We kind of set that up.
They met for the first time in Aberdeen, and then they're married 3 months later.
They're already married. That's the power of the crew, isn't it?
Actually, is this the time to say that we're starting a online dating service for?
Yes. What can we? I'm most interested in what we'll name it. Farmers only.
Yeah.
What are the most popular? It's like Match.com.
It'd be like,
still a dating thing?
findyourspotter.com, something like that.
Yeah. What are the popular? Is it like Match.com?
I think all of those
or it's
are
just
owned
Tinder.
by Match, Tinder, was it Bumble? Is that the gay one? There's just a lot of them. I believe Match, whoever that is, I think they have a monopoly. I think they own the entire industry and all of that.
And they just have different names for different things.
I think so. Like there's different, things depending on what you're into. But then I've also heard that, like maybe they're also working the algorithm so you never really find anyone, so you stay a customer for everyone.
Oh,
which isn't not a crazy.
Yeah.
That's not a crazy conspiracy at all. Like that is exactly how this stuff works. Is we're running a service, so we need to get every penny we can out of this service. So if it means making sure you're not happy totally to keep you in here, I could see that being it.
Yeah, that makes sense. Okay. But congrats on the funeral, you two. Then Big Kurt and Big Dr. Hogan competed together at Ohio State's Strongest Man. Big Kurt got first and Hogan got fourth. And they got a crew picture together. So great job.
Very nice.
Ohio, East Coast Ohio guys. Good job. Big Mofo is the 32nd member welcomed into the Massenomics Hall of Fame.
Well
so
done.
Congratulations, Big Mofo, on making it to the Hall of Fame. 32nd member to make it. Big Scants competed at Strongman.
When there's 50, are we going to do like an American flag with the 50 states to commemorate all 50?
Oh,
that could be pretty cool.
That's a good idea. We might have to do that. And then Big Scants was at Strongman Corp Canadian Nationals. He got third place in, would Scants be submasters or masters?
Most masters.
Yeah. So congrats. I think he qualified for Strongman Corp, whatever the next level is. He was talking about.
Oh,
he's listening.
Canada, so probably like provincials or something like that. So,
OSG Masters is what he could compete at next.
Yeah, but there's probably like a province level. Then there's some other like geographic term we don't use, and Canadian stuff.
Ways that we don't subdivide regions of the country. Congratulations to all supporting members. Thank you. You can become a supporting member too. This leads into another bullet point we had, that we did send out our crew gift. It has landed for many people, for most people. I don't know. The mail is a weird thing. We sent out 500 letters all on the same day to all different corners of the globe. And some people that live right down the street get them right away. Some don't. Some that live in Iowa haven't received theirs yet, but people all over other parts of the world get them, and they just show up at weird random times. So, but all 500 letters went out, and I don't think it's spoiling a surprise at this point. It was the gold Massenomics card, personalized card with everyone's name and number on it.
Yep.
Along with the South Dakota Lottery scratch ticket. Everyone got a South Dakota Lottery scratch ticket.
No major big winners yet, which you'd think with 500 cards going out, there'd be some decent winners, but I don't know.
I really thought there was going to be at least like one $50 or $100 winner.
Is the biggest we've seen 10 or 20 is all? Is that?
I think like 10.
Yeah.
Out of 500.
It seems abnormally low. Like I'm curious what the actual odds on these lottery cards are here.
Well, it does tell you on the back that
it does. I know.
There's like 1 in 4 is a winner, but there's so many of them are just like $1 winners.
Yeah.
And then it does tell you what the odds are of the grand prize. And I think it was like 1 in 10,000. But we bought 500 of them. So I'm like, can we do some mean median mode on that?
Even 500 divided by 10,000.
It's 5%.
Yeah, 5%. Yeah. So you had a 5%
So
chance.
there's a 5% chance that we had $1,000 winner in the ones that we.
So you are saying there is a chance.
Yeah. That's still not a great chance, though, is it?
Okay, you're talking about the grand prize winner, like 10,000.
Right. But I'm like I'm talking
$100.
$100.
The $100 we have to have. I mean, it has to be like one in a couple hundred, you would think, right?
Maybe it's only like 1 in 1,000, though.
Maybe. Yeah, I suppose if it's one.
Just the odds are you can't give away. These things cost $1 a piece.
If it's 1 in 100, you've actually just not made any money there. You've lost
money.
Money.
Right. Yes.
Yeah, maybe it is 1 in 500 is at best, or it's 1 in 1,000.
Well, yeah, because assuming there's a grand prize that's $1,000, that wipes out 10% of the cards you sell right there.
Yeah.
And then if there's 10 $100 winners, that wipes out another 10% of the revenue. And then every fourth one is a $1 winner, so that wipes out another 25% of the revenue. Yeah. So you get to the point where I bet there's only
how are these schools going to have any money?
That's out of 10,000. There's really probably only I bet there's like one in 1 to 2,000 is $100 winner.
Yeah, that would make.
I bet it can't be any more than that.
Dang, we'll just have to buy more next time.
Well, as long as we get more supporting members, we will get more. Big Mofo already got his Hall of Fame cup. I mailed that out to him. That's how quick the Hall of Fame committee works around here.
One note I did notice from the cards, because we do have to do a thing where they're all numbered by your entry,
yes,
by when you joined. So people take a lot of pride in knowing what number they are in the crew. And one thing of interest, I think it was Big Mostly Squat Matt's. Was his numbered like 500 or like? It was some really weird number, wasn't it?
Well, it was in like the 300 or 400s or 200s.
Oh,
yeah.
Was that correct for him, though?
Well, because he let his membership cancel.
Oh, okay. That's what I was wondering. Why
and then
he got out of order.
You moved down in line. Yeah. So you don't. That's why that's a great lesson in why you don't let your membership cancel.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Several people in the top 50 moved up like 20 spots, didn't they?
Yes. Yeah, and Scott Dodds was still number one. And some people even picked up on this. They were lottery ticket matching. The lottery tickets, the serial number on the lottery ticket matched your crew number even. And that wasn't just a clever little thing. That was actually part of the system of stuffing to make it almost impossible for it to get off, because on each one that we stuffed, you had to match up the crew number and the lottery number. So if you got to off, all of a sudden you're wrong, you knew you put like 2 in a package or forgot to put 1 in there, because things would start to not line up.
Big Matthias said, I have 2 memberships. Do I get 2 numbers? See, I feel like we try to not do that, but I think some people might have got that on accident, right?
Yeah. Some people also think they have 2 memberships and don't. I'm not saying that's the case here, but I've seen that, and they're like, yeah, that other one canceled like.
And some people think they don't have any memberships and do.
Yeah. Like Matthias Cash, for example. Let me look here.
Put him on the spot.
We'll just actually check while we're going here. We'll just answer individual questions on the podcast.
This is now a question and answer session. Yeah. It is open.
Yeah. I do think he does have 2.
So now
but we try to combine those, but we don't have those all combined. But he actually does have 2.
People don't realize how manually labor intensive this entire process is.
Yeah.
Looking back, could we have done a little different? Yeah, but we've come too far. It would require ripping the whole system apart, and we can't do that now. So
you can't we've gotten way too far. So do become a supporting member so you can get on the next one. We do a few of these a year. It's not always this. This is only the second time we've done the card thing. This time around with the cards, we sent out like at least 300 more than the first time. So stuffing 500 envelopes is a bit of a process, but hopefully next time we do it, there's 1,000. That'd be a great problem to have.
I hope so.
Yeah. And you can become a supporting member by heading over to Massenomics.com/join. Also, head over to buildfastformula.com/buy their supplements. You can click shop formulas and check out everything they got. They got the Vaso Blitz, the Full Blitz, the 80/20 protein, the Blitz 3D, Drink Hack, Glyco Hack. Personal favorites of mine. Right now, I've actually been doing the vanilla ice cream 80/20. So a great switch up from the chocolate. Also, when I do take a pre-workout before a lift, I actually do go with the 1 scoop of Vaso Blitz, and the 1 scoop of Full Blitz would be the formula I would use. Find the formula that works best for you at buildfastformula.com. Use discount code Massenomics. It'll save you on every single order that you do there. Thanks, BuildFast. And let's see. I'm going to also do another ad here. I'm going to let you know that this episode is brought to you by our great friends over at the Strength Co. They have plates, barbells, collars, deadlift jacks, deadlift platforms, everything. It's all built to last, made in America from the Strength Co. They also have their turkey pull coming up. I actually wanted to mention their turkey pull dates because this is an in-person event in California. The turkey pull is, but you can also get involved online through it. Let me see if I can find the turkey pull. Okay. Turkey pull registration. It's $35. You go to their shop, click under the apparel, and then it'll be the first thing in the apparel part of it. You go to turkey pull registration, $35. So you get a t-shirt, and then you get to get in on the turkey pull. I think you do it by submitting your deadlift over Instagram and using hashtag turkey pull. And that's the only way all you have to do to enter, and you get entered to win prizes like plates and stuff like that. So get in on the online turkey poll in the month of November through the Strength Co. Check it out at thestrength.co. Tommy, I read 2 ads, so you don't have to read an ad right now. Yeah.
Oh wow. Okay. Good job.
Big ad guy over here.
I needed that mid podcast nose blowing break.
Did you clear the bats out of the bell cave?
I did for now. It's only a matter of time till they're back, though.
Yes. Should we do the big announcement about the Lift Hard, Live Easy Classic?
Oh, yeah, let's do that.
All right. It's canceled. Sorry, guys.
We
didn't say it was a good announcement.
We've had a little trouble paying the bills, so the meat's the first thing to go here.
Yeah, we need Rich, Big Rich to bail us out.
We're looking for a cash investment.
Yeah. Anyone interested in throwing us a couple mil?
That is what it takes to run this successfully.
What do you think we would do with a $2 million line of credit? Like, is there?
Well, this is what you would have to do. I guess we would just have to go all in on what we're doing. We would actually have to quit our jobs and go 100% in on the YouTube game, and probably do, I don't know, 3 videos a week then. Yeah. And we probably have to make all podcasts, in-person podcasts. We probably just have to be on the road for 6 straight months. And then, I don't know, we probably have to be spending $10,000 a month on ads and also beef up our apparel. So there's 100 items. And I guess that's how you blow through $2 million in 6 months.
I didn't even know if we could do it then, because the problem is we're a little too, we've been a little too historically profitable. We'd really have to make sure those expenses are
actually, you're right. Not
turning a profit.
Yeah. Because all those things that I just said would, in theory, generate more money. So we actually wouldn't be losing money. That would be the problem. Yeah. Oh, okay. We'd have to think bigger here then.
I would wonder about fancy Massenomics cars.
That's what I was just going to say, is you start looking at cars now, but that's
with Massenomics wraps.
I'm trying to at least think of something that's an actual real business expense, so
right.
not just a car.
See, that's your problem. You're trying to think of real
I'm in the land of
business. We just need to waste money.
Yeah, if we just need to wait. I mean, I can come up with ways to waste money. Okay, we're making a Massenomics comp. This is what it is. We're buying, $2 million. That doesn't even get to that crazy of a house in Sioux Falls. We'll spend $1 million of it on a house in Sioux Falls.
Right, a Massenomics
and then
house.
It's just a Massenomics Airbnb.
We'll host a real world challenge, like Massenomics Real World, or
it'll be a mix of that.
Shore.
It'll be a reality show where we'll just have 20 guys staying in this place for a month.
What happens when you put 20 crew from all over the country and with different interests, with all the exact same interests together in one house?
A month
the same interests. the exact same interests, the exact same demographics, and all pretty much the same temperament together in one house.
We're
It's
a month
like, oh,
in,
they
and
just
these
all
guys
have
are
fun
just
and
all
don't
having fun. Yeah, there's no drama to report yet. They just hang out and lift all day. The show's kind of lame. It'd be that. The other thing we could do though, where we could really burn through it, is we could start hosting at this house. We could start hosting like life coaching events where we bring people in.
Oh yeah, seminars.
Yes, that's right. But again, I don't know. It might make money. That might be the problem.
We would charge so much for those.
Right.
Though.
Okay. Yeah.
You know, you have to, when you're a life coach, you have to charge thousands of dollars per head at something like that, and you get.
Yeah.
I mean. And the costs are nothing because you don't give them anything. All you do is you let them stay in a. You go on a.
The cost.
You let them pay to go on a trip with you, and
the cost of your time, though, and can you really put a price on your time? You know.
No, that's invaluable. Like, I mean, I could if someone wants to pay me like $10,000 to go on a vacation with these people, and then all you do is you talk to them about like
stuff.
Motivational life shit, about stuff that's actually completely unrelatable to them, because you talk about things that you can do because you don't have a real normal job.
It's like,
and all these people have real normal
You know
jobs.
how like you're divorced and you got to like just do everything you can to make
just
like,
to scrape by.
child payments and get by, and like that like 1 hour of free time you have a couple times a week, you go to the gym. Well, now you need to find like 30 hours of free time, because we got a lot of shit you have to do for self-improvement here. I do like the idea of a Massenomics House. Spend $1 million on a Massenomics House. It'll just be a content house. We'll build a gym out, build like a Juji gym. Actually, that won't even. People will come stay at this house. They won't even have to go to a gym, because we'll build a Juji compound gym at the house, and then we'll just fly people in constantly. But again, that might be revenue generating. I don't know.
That'd be the problem. Big Anthony said you could pay your interns. Ha, that's laughable.
No, you're interns, not employees.
Yes. I just want the intro of the Massenomics real world house. Like, Matt, I can't
It'd be like
remember
this.
the actual real world intro.
We took 20 dudes that had nothing on their. We took 20 dudes that loved to lift weights and bro out, and we put them in a house. What will they do? And it's just like, dude, nice lift. Like,
guys sitting around and grilling and drinking a beer.
yeah,
and
just like farting and drinking and grilling. It's like, oh.
Remember that time we all went to the Arnold? That was pretty sick.
That'd be the show, man.
I'd watch. I would watch. What were we? What was the topic of discussion here?
Something
about the announcement.
Oh yeah,
yeah. That the Lift Hard Live Easy is canceled. Just psych. Yeah. It's not canceled. I bet some people are really going on that. What is happening for the 2025 Lift Hard Live Easy Classic is the registration opening dates are set for the crew members. You do have to be a crew member to get in on the early registration. It will not be open to the public until after the crew has their shot. The crew is going to get a week of opening. So here's the dates. Write these down. Grab pen, grab pencils, grab paper, markers, crayons, pastels, whatever you
pull over your car. Start taking notes.
Pastels are really like, that was just really stupid. I always hated it in art. Like, I'm like, why are we using this medium that if you're not actually an artist, you don't really need to use oil pastels.
I can say I basically went to art school and we never did pastels. So
I'm like, people already invented things that work way better than this. Like, the
closest I got was like colored pencils. Like
I think oil pastels are only used for art class.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know anyone that, I mean, obviously there's someone that uses them, students probably, but I don't know anyone that makes a living with pastels.
No, caveat to this is I don't know shit about art, so I'm completely speaking out of my ass, but that's just my take on oil pastels. Way overrated. But for the announcement, we did set the dates, and the dates are, and here's how it's going to work.
This is the date for registration we're talking.
Yeah, for early registration for our supporting members, only supporting members get the early access, and it's probably, quite honestly, they're going to fill up from supporting members and gym members. So if you're not one, you probably won't get to sign up. That's a very realistic thing.
It's just the rules. We don't make them.
Yeah.
Just how it is. Someone else makes these
We
rules.
do make them.
It's out of our hands. I don't know who makes these rules, but
They're
it's not
just
us.
rules. We just follow them. We don't know where they come from. They were written in stone, and we picked up the tablets. Don't ask us anymore about those tablets. Like, we just found them.
Just the way
and
it is.
Yep, we definitely did not make them up. They were definitely
No,
real
that's
things.
clearly, that's the main takeaway. This is not made up. We were told.
They were real things that are not made up by the two of us. So the strongman registration is going to open up early for the supporting members on Monday, November 11th. That is when strongman registration will open up. There's only going to be the exact details of this will be to come. Jake's working on that event-wise, and I don't even know if all the exact final details will be known for events. You'll probably have an idea at the time of registration, but still a long ass ways out, so it doesn't really have to all be set in stone. But what I can tell you is there's not going to be that many people that get to sign up for strongman. It's only going to be probably 20 or 25. It may be like an example of what it could look like is 5 classes of 5 in each class this year, where it's a max of 5 in each class too. So registration will only be open for each weight class for 5, and once 5 have signed up, then it's closed for that weight class. You won't be able to register there. So it's probably going to be something like that. That opens up on November 11th. That'll go for 1 week. And then on November 18th, that's when the powerlifting registration opens, 1 week after that. So it'll kind of give the crew, supporting members and gym members, gives them their time to sign up, to try and sign up for strongman if they want to. And by the time that week's over, they'll know if they got a spot or if they didn't. So those that didn't would know that if they wanted in on it, they would need to get signed up for the powerlifting November 18th. And that will be open to just crew and gym members for a week before it opens to anyone else. So crew will have a week to sign up for the powerlifting meet. I wouldn't wait, because it could in theory fill up just from supporting members.
Did it last
actually.
year? Didn't it fill up in like 24 hours? Is it something like that?
Something like that. Yeah. 90 spots for powerlifting again this year. Same as last year. And they will be in high demand, I think, honestly.
And
so
this is the all new and improved venue.
And stay tuned for the exact time, but I think both will open. I'll just say it. They're both going to open at noon, Western, Northeast, South Dakota time on those respective dates. Kind of going in, laboring on all these details because everyone wants to know that stuff and start making plans for being able to sign up. And so that is the plan. There will be events in the Massenomics Discord if you're a supporting member in there, and we'll probably mention on the podcast a few more times between now and then.
Yeah.
But registration will open in November for those events. Plenty of time early to get signed up and be able to make your arrangements for Western, Northeast, South Dakota in July?
No shortage of time to get things figured out.
Yeah. Okay. Are we gonna? Is this next thing our title topic? Is that?
Well,
what
I
we
don't know.
decided?
Maybe the Kabuki thing was our title topic. We talked about that quite a bit. That probably
could have been our title
I think
topic.
It was.
Well, this sound is for whatever ends up being the title of this. This sound is for that. It was also to denote that you are actually down with the sickness.
Yeah.
But it's also kind of the title
It's a
topic
very
sound, so it's a
flexible
multi-purpose.
sound. Works in a lot of situations.
Yeah. So what? Oh, our Mr. Olympia recap. That's what we're going to talk about. Our highly anticipated annual Mr. Olympia recap.
Break it down for me, man.
We spend all year studying these competitors and make our predictions of who we think is going to take home the gold. And we were both right this year. First place in the Olympia went to Samson, the guy whose last name starts with a D.
Dauda? Is that how
I think it's Dauda, Dada, Samson Dada.
Something
Or
like
how'd you
that.
say it?
I think I said
Dauda?
Dauda, didn't I?
Okay.
Dauda. I don't
Dada.
know.
Let's say Dada. It's Samson Dada. That's who won.
Okay.
That's who won. And you want to get me? You might not know. Guess what his payout was? The highest ever for.
I did
Mr.
actually see
Olympia.
this. $600,000.
$600,000. That is an enormous payout.
It is for what seems like at the end of the day still an obscure sport. Like it's weird to say that because like we're kind of in that world and I don't really know anyone that follows it, but there obviously are a lot of people that follow bodybuilding, which is still surprising to me because I don't know who these people are. I don't know anybody, but they clearly exist.
They clearly exist.
And I'm not knocking them. I'm just saying I don't really know anybody personally.
The most I know about Samson is from hearing Dr. Mike reference him in his videos.
That's about it for me too.
Okay. Hadi Chupan.
Yep, I remember saying
last
his name
year's
last
winner
year.
Did get second. Did you know what second paid him?
I just looked right here. $250,000.
$250,000. Derek Lunsford, I think also another former winner, got third.
Oh, really?
Yeah, those three, first, second, third, are all former winners, and I think they were all first, second, third last year, just in a different order.
Oh.
Then Martin Fitzwater. Then
The best name on the list, Andrew Jacked.
yeah, that's not his real name. Apparently,
Oh, it's
his
not?
real name is
Okay.
Chinadu Obieke.
Oh, well, that's
Andrew Jacked would be a much better real name, wouldn't it?
yeah.
Yeah. So, here, how about this? Do you know what Samson Duda's nickname is?
No, what is it?
The most important thing we'll learn this week. Samson the Lion Dada.
Okay, the Lion.
I really don't know how to say his last name, so we'll just call him Samson the Lion.
The Lion. Hey, it works because it has a the.
What do you
in front
think of the Lion as a nickname?
That works.
Possibly the
That
most
works. I don't
important
got a
thing.
problem with it.
Yeah. What was Hattie Chupan? Do you remember what Hattie's was? Or?
Ooh, that's let me look right now. He is the Persian Wolf.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah, that is good. So we got
That's
the
better
Lion
than
and the
the
Persian
Lion.
Wolf at the top. Okay. Then Martin Fitzwater. You got to have it.
What about Derek Lunsford? What's his?
Let's wait. Oh, Martin the Martian Fitzwater. That's good too.
Yeah.
That's good too. Getting rid of the animal thing. Who'd you say?
Derek Lunsford.
Oh yeah, Derek Lunsford. That's Derek Lunsford is. I don't know.
No particular nickname.
I'm not
That's
seeing anything
severe
right
points.
away.
I guess that's why he got third and not first.
This marketing is all off. I don't see it. He's got to have one. I'm just not seeing it out here right away.
In other news, Chris Bumstead did win the classic physique category again for the 6th year in a row.
And I did see
C-Bum.
this. Did you see the pay discrepancy between the classic physique?
$50,000 for C-Bum. All the other winners
60.
are 50
Was it 50
grand.
or 60? It was something like that. but-
On Barbend it says 50.
Okay. 60 grand. That is quite the gap in, I mean, he's a huge name. Like to me, that is the name that I feel like everyone knows, but I guess maybe that class in general, people don't care about as much, or maybe, I think it is on the come up though, isn't it?
I think so, a little bit. Well, I think probably just because of him.
Yeah. And then did I hear, is he retiring? Did he announce this was his last one?
I think so.
End of an era.
I don't know what it's going to be like for all of us fans next year without C-Bum there.
We got to move on? We got to find a new person? No way. I ain't having it.
Yeah. So that's it. That's the 2024 Massenomics coverage of the Mr. Olympia
Well,
contest.
you forgot all the figure and fitness listings.
That's right. Just like everyone, we forgot them all. I did scan to see if there was a single name that I recognized from anything ever before, and
But I'm
there was
looking
not.
at here too.
Yep. Yeah, I wouldn't say we're missing them.
Figure fitness, wellness, and bikini. That is actually the real test, is what is the distinction? I know there's a distinction, but what is the distinction between all of them?
It's just varying levels of jackness. Like
Just
you
and
must
like
be
some of
this
them are
jacked to be in this
are
one.
like very, very tiny, varying levels.
Yes. I heard you got a pretty sweet Facebook Marketplace deal of the week this week, though.
Oh, your boy did a little marketplace hunting here.
Let's hear it.
I actually gotta explain a story here.
Is this your biggest marketplace score ever?
Yeah, I did spend $350, so it is the biggest. It's actually the second marketplace score I've ever done.
Is it? So it's the most expensive and the largest.
And the largest and the most I traveled too. And what's funny about this, this actually didn't even dawn on me until after I got it. What's funny about this is, so I went and picked up a lat pull down machine. I saw a lat pull down machine in Minneapolis. And Minneapolis is about 3.5 hours from me. And what's funny is I hadn't even been looking for lat pull down machines. Just one day, you're bored, and I typed in on Marketplace lat pull down machine, and this one popped up, and I'm like, oh, cool. That seems like a decent one. And I just kind of favorited it. And then I'm like, I'll just see like in a few days if this is still there. And it was. And then I thought about it a little more. And then I'm like, I'll ask Tanner if he thinks this seems legit. And they're like, yeah, that actually seems pretty nice. And so I messaged the guy, and I ended up getting the thing. But what's funny is the first search I ever did for lat pull downs machines, this is the one I found, and I bought it, and I had it a week later. Like it wasn't even like I had been looking for them for months on end. It was literally the first search I ever did for one. I found this one and I bought it.
And what are the specs on this?
I got lots of stories on this thing.
That's kind of the way the Facebook Marketplace gods work.
I think it is.
Ways.
Like I get it here. I'm super happy with the whole thing. But okay, so the piece is, it is made by OEI, and it is like an actual commercial grade piece. Like it looks like are those Cybex ones we have in the gym? The white ones with the blue upholstery on them. The blue pads.
I actually don't know what those are.
Okay, I didn't know. But it looks like a lot of equipment you'd see from like the early 90s. It's all white frame, metal, 2x2 tubing with a blue pad. And it's a lat pull down machine, and it is selectorized, which was high on my list. I wanted to make sure this thing was selectorized. I didn't want to mess around with having a plate loaded machine. And it also has the low row, which was the other
that part's
essential for me. Because I'm like, if I'm going to add in a piece of equipment that's going to take up this much room, it has to be pretty versatile. And so when I saw it was selectorized up to like 265 pounds, I think, and then lat pull down and
maybe we should kick everyone off for the end of the story so they have to listen in live to find out the rest of the details.
That's a good call. Get them out of here. They've had enough.
Now they have to wait for days to find out the way this Facebook Marketplace
marketplace find
all these scandalous details.
And I should actually say though, I was starting to research lat pull downs, and I've come to the conclusion that actually there are a lot of companies that make a good lat pull down machine. And if you're talking selectorized, which is what I really want to do, you don't really have options under like $2,500. That's about it. And like $2,500, that's a lot of money on something like this. And I've kind of come to the conclusion that the best lat pull down machine is a used commercial lat pull down machine. Like that's the best lat pull down machine, right?
Well, it's what we've both come up with over the years, where it's like you can spend a few $100s and have something that's like basically bomb proof,
like maybe even objectively better than some of the ones that you could spend a few $1,000s on. And I talked to a guy that made equipment, and he's like,
a guy.
Yeah, we do know a guy, and I'll talk more on this later. He's like, a lat pull down is kind of a lat pull down. He's like, at a certain point, we just came up with more creative ways to bend tubing and charge more money for it. And he's like, you're just paying for looks, really, at a certain point here.
Right.
But I was researching plate loaded ones because selectorized ones were so expensive. I didn't want to drop that much money on one. And the plate loaded ones, they seem nice for what they are, but the caveat there is for what they are. At the end of the day, they do just seem like a cheap kind of not very nice thing. And like I was watching Gluck's video on one, I think it was from like Giant, and it was like $500, and I was thinking, oh, maybe this is the one I get, because I'd seen that one come up a few times. And then once I watched the video, I'm like, I don't know, man, this thing just looks cheap and crappy. At the end of the day, it just looks not that nice. And then it's still plate loaded. And then they're like, make sure you put the same weight on both sides, or it doesn't like pull the best. And it just doesn't seem ideal. Right. And so after watching enough video, and like Bells of Steel makes one and Rep makes one, all these companies make ones that are both selectorized and plate loaded. But then that was the day. I'm like, I'll just hop on Facebook Marketplace. And that's when I saw this one. And, messaged the guy, worked the whole deal with him, decide I'm going to Minneapolis. And this is the first equipment haul that requires me to get something big. And I need a trailer for this. And I don't have a trailer. I'm not Tanner. I don't have just heavy equipment and things laying around where I can pick things up. So I have to go to U-Haul and get my trailer. Luckily, that part went pretty smooth. I didn't know you could rent a trailer from U-Haul for the day for $20. Like, that worked out pretty good.
So what was the final bill?
The final bill after everything was like taxes and everything, like $25.
Okay, yeah, so it's almost nothing.
I don't think they plan on most people putting like 500 miles on it in a day, but I did.
Right.
And it worked out totally fine. So I get to the cities, I get to this guy's place, and I don't know how loading this thing up, how it's going to go. You know, some of these things is like, I didn't know, was it built so the weight stack is like permanently in this thing? You know, can that be removed? And luckily the guy's like, no, there's just 2 roll pins in the top. We pull those, you can take the guides out, the whole stack comes out. And once you do that, then the frame itself maybe weighs, I don't know, 150 pounds or so.
Yeah, probably less than the plate stack.
Oh yeah, definitely less than the plate stack. And that was, we were able to load that. And luckily it fit laying down in the trailer. Cause that was the other thing I was kind of worried about is, how is this thing going to fit in there? But I did have a little bit of room to spare, so it laid down in there fine. Drove it all the way back, got home, got it set up in my garage, and I'm really happy with it. Like, initial impressions of it. So, actually, it's in really good shape. I might make a video this weekend or sometime soon here. I might try and just clean it up and just touch up paint on a few spots. There's one pulley wheel that I need to replace. But just some very minor things, and this thing's like damn near brand new. So the story on the piece itself, it had a sticker on it that said OEI, and I don't even know I think it just said OEI equipment, which means nothing to me. But underneath it said Medford, Minnesota. So I type in Medford. I'd never heard of that. And Medford is just outside of Owatonna. And through some work for Grant earlier this year and the whole Massenomics thing, we have a little equipment connection with a manufacturer in Owatonna, Minnesota. Actually, the founder Power Block is down there. I'm good. I'm now consider myself close personal friends with the creator of Power Block. And so I emailed the creator of Power Block, Big Greg. I sent Greg an email. I said, hey, Greg, I picked up this piece of equipment from your neck of the woods, or it was made in your neck of the woods. It's called OEI. Do you know anything about this? And so I sent him this email, and like an hour later, I get a phone call from Owatonna, Minnesota. I'm like, oh, Big Greg's calling me. What's he got to tell me here? And so he goes, yeah, actually, great story for you. And I got to find he then sent me a follow-up email on this. But he says, OEI was started in 1983 by Jim Dunham. And he told me that Jim, they were friends. They were on a personal basis. He said Jim was with Cybex.
Jim, that old son of a bitch.
Yeah, Jim,
that's what he said.
Jim was with Cybex. I don't even understand this line. I guess before
Cybex Eagle.
Like before it was Cybex, there was like Eagle. Like there's also like Eagle Cybex equipment or something too, isn't there?
Yeah, and people like the Eagle Cybex equipment, I think.
Yeah, and so Jim was with Eagle before they rolled into Cybex. And then I don't know if it was, I think it was before they merged or before they got bought out, whatever it was. Jim went out on his own and started this OEI equipment. And Greg told me, he's like, yeah, at their peak, they were doing probably $3 to $4 million a year. They had about 10 employees. He said they shut down in the mid 90s, but he said they stayed mostly regional. They didn't try to like scale out and grow. So he said, if you look around through Minnesota, he said a lot of high school weight rooms, college weight rooms at the time. He said it had a lot of this stuff. I think he said Owatonna, the high school there, had all OEI stuff in it. And so that was the story on this piece, was that this guy had bought it from the guy that I bought it from had bought it from a hockey rink in the cities that he thought was, he thought like in the early 90s, it was supposed to be an Olympic training center for the women's Olympic hockey team. And so that's why they had all this strength training equipment there. As time went on, the women's hockey team thing got off. That's done.
That's why that women's hockey team had such big lats.
That's what it was. They had the OEI lat pull down. And then, eventually it turned into like more of a kids team thing, and they didn't need the weight equipment anymore. So this guy bought it. He had bought this with a bunch of pieces. He had sold all of them. This was the last piece he had, and I was the one to pick it up. So I got it here, and man, before I got sick, I got to do one workout with it, and dude, this is my first time hitting lat pull downs in a long time. I forgot, for me, a set of 15 on lat pull downs on hypertrophy, 3 sets of 15. Those last 5 reps just smoked my lats so hard. I forgot the feeling. So I'm glad to have it back in the lineup.
Did you try any low rowing with it yet?
I did, just to make sure like the cable and everything worked correctly.
Yeah.
And that's all. That works good too. I'm really excited to start using it.
So your gym footprint is expanding then a little bit.
It is, but actually not a whole lot, because the lat pull down itself is only it's only as wide as the weight.
It's fairly compact.
It's like 24. I think it's 28 inches wide from frame to frame. And the length of it, I want to say like depth, how much it takes up. Is it like 40 inches maybe? The foot plate for the lat row takes up a little more, but that also is on a pin, where you can move it in and out. So the whole thing stays pretty compact. Really, honestly, the reason it takes up more room, because just with a lat pull down, just the bar itself, most lat pull down bars are like 40 inches wide.
Right.
And I have it right now up against the wall. And so you need a little room away from the wall so the bar's not banging into it. So that's actually what makes it take up more room than anything, is the bar itself. Makes sense.
Yeah. So what will be your next selectorized piece of equipment?
That's funny. I will say, okay, so I did get a few attachments for it. I had to you got to get the classic tricep rope. You got to have that thing. Luckily all this stuff is insanely cheap. Like things like this that you don't really care about is insanely cheap on Amazon. Like I think Cap, you can get the rope from them for like $12 or something.
Right.
I did pick up the Spud Inc. I think it's the long ab
squat
strap.
belt. Oh, okay.
Not the belt squat belt. I got the long ab strap because I think Juji had a video talking about how he likes to use it for like lat stuff. And then I'd seen the video on it of them talking about how you can like kind of do weighted crunches with that. I think was it Seth, Dr. Seth?
Big
talked about that. Yeah, so I added that in there too, and then it came with the V bar, the little it came with that, and it came with the lat pull down bar, and those were both looking a little rusty, a little used, but I hit them with some 3-in-1 oil and a metal brush, and the lat pull down bar almost looks brand new. I'm assuming it's probably original to the machine, but it looks great. The V bar had a lot more rust on it, and so that one now, instead of just looking bad, looks just used. So I got that for now. Probably add in some other random things as time goes on. But yeah, the attachments game is, for the most part, we're talking things that are under $100, a lot of times under $50. So those are easy ones to add in.
So you spent less than what you would have spent on any of the rack mounted options. If that would have been
even the standalone, the rack mounted ones aren't even that cheap for the most part. The standalone weight loaded ones, I don't know. I think the cheapest one was that one from Giant, and it was $500. And so I'm still even renting a trailer. Actually, with gas, I'm renting a trailer and gas and buying it. I'm probably at about 500.
Right.
But it still is.
But you also got to learn this history about.
Oh, I got the history on it. Can you put a price on the history? Yeah, like the Bells of Steel, like their lat pull down is beefy, and Bells of Steel is known as being a value option, but their plate loaded option is $900. Right. So I'm still coming out way ahead on that. And the machine looks good. Like I'm just gonna, as of right now, I'm saying I'm doing this. Maybe I'll change my mind, but there's just a few spots where the paints wore off a little bit from like the bar hitting the frame. I might try and touch that up. I was doing a little research on what people get. I might try and touch that up a little bit. I might not even mess with it. I'm not sure yet. We'll see how it goes. And otherwise, I'm gonna give it a little scrub down. You can definitely see there's some grease and grime through the years that even cleaning that up, I think is gonna make it look way better because.
Yeah,
I mean, it's just going to make it look that much cleaner. The pad, the upholstery is like brand new. Little bit of rust on the weight stack, and I'll probably, when I try to clean this thing up, I'll take the weights off and try to knock some of that off. But again, this thing's pretty good shape for $350.
Yeah. So now do you feel like the home gym is pretty well
well, so now I'm at the thing of now adding anything I would just like the footprint is just
right
to be it's like I did have a gap because next to my weight rack I had the spot where I just keep my bench.
Right.
And there was like a 5-foot empty space. Like there was actually space for something.
Right.
And now would I add something else in? I would love to. Like after going to Juji's and like even Jen's, all these places, they just have them just crammed full of stuff. And there's something that's really cool and fun about going into a gym, be like, whoa, there's this much stuff in here.
Right.
I'm talking about the back half of a third stall right now. So like, it's not, I just don't have the footprint for it at the moment. And also I have had on my to-do list from day one, or pretty early on, was some type of something for poles, some type of cable, something, and whether that was something that's rack attached that you got to set up every time or whatever that was, this was on there. I don't really have anything else right now that would be a different thing. Like, yeah, if I had unlimited space, maybe like a Rhino or a belt squat would be cool. But again, I don't know if I have unlimited space, if a belt squat would be the thing that would still go in there. So
Yeah.
I don't like I feel like out of all the recommendations I got since I've had my gym, some type of lat pull down, tricep, low row thing was the number one most recommended machine type piece that got recommended. I don't even really know if anything else has been recommended that commonly outside of that.
Not really. I guess I don't even, if I was thinking, it would probably be, well, we did a video on it. It would probably be if you ever got like those fancy adjustable, like,
well, that's like, and I could still see myself getting those within the next year,
right?
But that's not really adding to the footprint because I already have dumbbells laying on the ground. Right. So if they're really nice, fancy ones versus crappy ones, like that doesn't change the footprint. I'm just trying to think if there ever would be a bigger machine, and this all hinges on the space, like I would have to do something drastic, like decide like my car's not going in the garage ever again.
Right.
To like really open up some space, which that does give me a lot more options. But like Titan has that, like Paul has that Titan leg extension machine, but I don't like doing leg extensions. We had the leg extension machine at the gym. I never used it. I just don't like that. I don't like those machines. So I'm not sure what would be next on the list, but it was cool. Like obviously Juji's, but even at Donnie's, where he had just like every machine for, like he had that specialized tricep extension bench. Do you remember that?
He has some wacky machines. You'll see that in the gym tour video we have of his coming up on YouTube. But
I was playing back and I saw that clip of you doing that. I'm like, wow, that machine is insane. Like someone could chop their hand off with that thing. Setting
he
up
had a handful of machines that I'm like, I don't believe I've ever seen this before. Like, this
and it was really cool seeing all those just random ones in there.
Yeah.
I just big footprint things though. I'm not sure what else is really left for your standard home gym at this point.
No, it's pretty well covered, I think. Now you should be able to finally get
I can finally get strong. Yeah, that's
been holding you back.
It is what's been holding back. But I do got to think I might get one more stall mat to just really round everything out, but that's the one thing I got to decide on that.
Really fill in the gaps
to really tie the whole thing together.
Yeah.
The bigger concern coming up soon here is going to be heat, and I think I've decided I'm not putting a heater in this winter. So we'll see how that goes. I don't know what. I'm not sure how that'll go.
It got a little colder here for a couple nights, but actually I think it's like not going to be that cold again here for a while though.
Yeah, it's going to heat back up. And like even here on the colder nights, like I was just curious, okay, when it gets down to 30, well, it is a little different in the winter time, but when it gets down to 30, most mornings when I go out into my garage, it'd still be 60 something. So it wasn't.
Yeah, that's not
insulated
cold enough
and everything
for it to be. It probably honestly won't. I'm just looking at the forecast. It won't even in October be even potentially an issue.
I know. Well, and if it's anything like last year, November won't really be an issue either. Even last year, we were getting rain in December, which means it's above freezing. And if it's above freezing, it'll stay, in the 50s in the garage. And like the 50s is not an issue. It's when it starts to get below 50 is when it's cold.
Yeah.
So we'll see. Maybe there'll be a couple months. I don't know. I'm not sure. I do have a little propane heater. Like back in the day at my old house when we used to throw parties in my garage all the time. Yeah, I had the big, I don't even know what you call those things.
Nipco?
Yeah, like that, where you just hook it up to a propane tank and you would let that thing run for like 10 minutes and all of a sudden your garage is comfortable. Yeah. So, I've even considered that. I'm like, well, on days when it's really bad, 10 minutes before I go out, I can whip that thing on.
And you can kind of point it right at the corner too, so it like heats the objects in there a little bit too, probably.
Yeah, and that would do it. So I don't know. Maybe that's something that I do for a couple months, but we'll see. It'll be the learning experience this winter.
Only time will tell.
only time.
Do you want to hit us with a couple ads there? Do you got an ad or two?
Nah, I'm good.
On the agenda?
I'm good. Yeah, give me a second here. I had to clear my throat. This episode is
clear my throat. Blah, 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 blah.
This episode is also brought to you by Barefoot Shoes. Most shoes harm your mobility by over-restricting your foot's natural movement. Barefoot shoes are designed with minimal restrictions so your feet can move the way they're supposed to. Move with more strength and confidence in every step. Barefoot Shoes was founded by Chris Duffin, who attributes proper foot biomechanics as foundational to his success in squatting and deadlifting over 1,000 pounds for reps. He helped create the company to provide a minimalist shoe that can be worn for anything from deadlifts to walking your dog. Go to www.barefoot.store today to check out the best minimalist shoes available. And while you're there, make sure to use code Massenomics and save 10% on your next order. That's barefoot.store. Code Massenomics will save you 10%. Thank you, Barefoot Shoes. And are you telling me I need to read another one right away?
Oh, Barefoot Shoes coming out with shoes for toddlers too.
What?
Yep.
Was this on their Instagram or where did
I got
how did
an email
not see this?
today. Shoes for toddlers. I think you can like get pre-ordered or something on them now. I don't know if you can even see it on their website.
I wonder if mine went to junk and that's why I didn't see it.
Yeah.
Well, all right. Toddler shoes. Get on it, people. All right. This episode is also brought to you by Swisslink. Swisslink has been importing military-issue goods to the United States and into the hands of those yearning for quality gear at uncompromised prices. Swisslink.com carries everything you can imagine from British tactical vests to Italian Navy deck shoes and everything in between. Swisslink is home to the authentic Wavian fuel cans. They're made from 0.9 millimeters of cold-rolled steel and are the highest quality gas cans on the market today. The team at Swisslink has also decided a high-quality water can was needed as well, so they developed a stainless steel water can to match, and it fits all of your Wavian can holders. This is another addition to Swisslink's exceptional collection and their dedication to quality customer service. You can enjoy a 15% discount on your next purchase at Swisslink.com by entering code MASS at checkout. That's MASS. Will save you 15% at Swisslink.com. Thank you, Swisslink.
Oh, they're now making Swiss Army backpacks for toddlers. Now making NATO fuel cans for toddlers.
Did you know Kabuki Power is now making power bars for toddlers?
For toddlers.
They're making the Transformer bar for toddlers.
Yes. Anything else we want to cover this week? Episode 400 and whatever I said this is at the beginning of the episode.
That's probably good. We got some other stuff here, but got to save something for next week.
We've got our make sure you're subscribing on our YouTube channel. Massenomics YouTube, the world's fastest growing YouTube channel.
The people over at YouTube actually called us and said, we don't know what's going on. We have never seen growth like this ever. What have you guys done?
It is growing for us about as fast as it ever has. It's a somewhat serious comment.
It actually has, and it's been rewarding because we put a lot of time and effort and work into this damn trip, and so far it is going good. So thank you for everyone that is liking, commenting, and watching those damn things. And if you're not,
actually do like and comment. A lot of people have, and we appreciate it. All helps. So do actually go on there, like, and leave a comment.
And again, if you're listening to this part of this podcast and you have not watched our YouTube channel, I gotta say congratulations. That's amazing. You've managed to do that. I don't know how you're staying away, but if you are, go watch that. If there's any reason you like any of this, it's just more of this, but in video form. So with cool, exciting people. So go onto the YouTube and please watch that.
Yes. I think that's about it, isn't it, for this one? Check out our drop coming up this week. Really cool stuff in there. I think, there's stuff in this drop that I just am totally stoked on myself for just wearing personally, and usually, and I know Tommy's the same, and usually that translates to stuff that people are going to like. So do be on the lookout for that as well. Like us on Facebook. Leave us a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts. We'd love to have more reviews to read. I've got a whole bunch to read, but we'd love to have more read so that like 10 years from now, we still have more to read. And Tommy, where do they find you at?
You can find me at Tomahawk_D.
You can follow me at Tanner_Bear. Just make sure to follow Massenomics at Massenomics.
See ya.